The main concept in ground fighting that I want to get across to you right now is that of superior position. You see, it's very hard to escape a ground fighting situation or apply a technique in a ground fighting situation if you do not have superior position. So our focus right now in street fighting, ground fighting, is actually to get up and to get out. That's the only thing we want to concern ourselves with. We don't want to sit there and look for that arm bar. We don't even want to sit there and look for that good chokehold. What we want to do is actually get to our feet. So the moves you're going to see here are a little bit different than what you would see in tournament self-defense. In tournament self-defense, they can set up and they have time to set up complex moves. What we're going to be doing things here is we'll be actually keeping things very, very simplistic. So what we're going to move to now is actually 4 inferior positions, because the goal that we want to accomplish is to go from an inferior position to a superior position very, very quickly. So what we're talking about here is once again 4 positions. The first of the 4 positions is that of being inside someone's guard. Many times in tournament self-defense, this is exactly where you want to be because you have a lot of options from this point. Once again, in a street fighting situation, we're down on the ground. We do not want to be down there. Why? His friend can come along. Maybe someone can introduce a weapon into the situation. Therefore, we want to be to our feet. We want to be mobile. So the first position is going to look like this. Now, Jake is in Mark's guard. What we're going to be doing here is performing what's called a radical pass. Jake is going to hold Mark's arms down by the biceps. Go ahead. After that, he's going to skip up to his feet. Now, when he does this, he's going to keep his feet back. He doesn't want to protrude them too close to Mark because he doesn't want Mark to grab him if by chance Mark gets one of his arms free. After that, Jake will actually put on a headbutt. After the headbutt, he's going to stand up, strike the groin, and then simply run away. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these gentlemen actually do it all over again for you. Set, go. One more time, please. So once again, what we're actually focusing on here is not sitting there and looking for that ankle lock. Yes, there would be an option in a tournament, or if you're just sparring around with a partner, that would definitely be an option. What we're focusing on here is creating an outlet so we can simply escape. The second inferior position in a street fighting situation is once again this guard position. But let's just say now that you're the guy on their back. Let's focus on this one now. What you have is you have Mark down his back and he has Jake in his guard. What Mark is going to be doing here is actually getting to an inside position here and using his legs to make sure Jake's face is close to his face. Once that happens, he's going to put a figure 4 neck crank on him like so. Go ahead. Once he does that, he's going to go ahead and bite the cheek of Jake. Usually what will happen is Jake will freak out slightly. He'll usually try to get away from the situation by popping up to his feet. Once he does that, Mark is going to curl his legs under and simply kick him off and escape. Let's take a look at this position again. Once again, what Mark's going to do is he's going to get the inside position in Jake's arm. He's going to curl him in with his legs and apply a figure 4 neck crank right here. From here, Jake doesn't have a whole lot of options. He hardly has an eye gouge, he can't bite him back, and all of his strikes are gone as well. So what we're going to be focusing on right here is this position where he is getting an uninterrupted bite on Jake. Once that happens, Jake once again will usually freak out, meaning that we usually bite someone and they're held to that position. They will simply freak out. They'll try to get off of that position. This is going to be able to give Mark a chance to get his feet under there, kick Jake off, and escape. All right, now Mark and Jake are actually going to provide the exact same position, do the exact same technique, but a little bit faster. The The third kind of inferior position that we're going to focus on is that if you're under someone's cross side. Now this is what this position looks like. You have Mark here who's not on mount, he's actually off to the side. Now Jake once again is still in the inferior position. So what Jake's going to be doing is going ahead clasping behind Mark's neck and back and holding on to a bite position. He will bite right here. As Mark reacts to that, Jake will recompose guard only about halfway and then do a kickoff and escape. So let's see that again now. Set, go. All right, now let's get actually a closer look at that bite position. Taking another look at that bite again, you're going to see that Jake actually puts once again a holding move or a lock over Mark's neck and back. This is going to give him an uninterrupted bite on Mark's neck. And then of course the follow-up move. Go ahead. The fourth and final inferior position that we're going to look at is that of being under the mount position. Let's take a look at this position. As you can see here, Mark definitely has the superior position while Jake under him has the inferior position. Jake simply wants to get out of this. So what Jake does is he throws up his hips, eye gouges them, hooks his arm around, and rolls. From this position, he then goes through the radical pass from the earlier movement and escapes. Let's go ahead and do that again. Go ahead a little bit faster. Set, go. Obviously, when we're talking about ground fighting, we're talking about a lot of techniques that are available to us. What we actually want to do is just focus on those ones, especially in street fighting, that are going to get us to our feet. So once again, the point of this is not to overload you with technique after technique. The point is to show you just a couple techniques so you have them in your arsenal. If God forbid you find yourself in an inferior position on the ground out in the street, you can apply one of these. So once again, the only way you're going to get good at these is you actually practice these, and that's where the drills come in.